I'm muted. I thought I had it right this time. Welcome to Adam Does Movies Live. It's always a tough transition from that intro to this. At some point I'll figure it out, but obviously not tonight. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about the Alien films, all 9 of them, which include the AVP franchise, the celebrated, amazing Alien versus Predator franchise that apparently they're going to make another one of. But I'll talk about that in a little bit with my buddy here, my new guest coming on the channel for the first time. And I believe it's co-streamed over at his, if everything is working correctly, which, as we can see right out of the gates, everything's going off just swimmingly. I'm late. Audio wasn't working. Anyway, a couple of things of note before I begin. I have a second channel, Adam Does Rants, which is complaining about first world problems in a comedic fashion. So hopefully you've joined me there already. You just subscribe. That's all you have to do. It's really simple. I've put out a bunch of videos this week on the channel, including the somber news that The Acolyte, everybody's favorite Star Wars show, has been canceled. We're going to pour one out for the power of one, the power of many. And I got an Alien video up on Romulus. I have a spoiler video on Romulus. And tomorrow, if I get my editing ass in gear, I'm going to have a top 10 WTF moments from the Alien franchise. It's Alien all week here. And joining me is Cecil from the Horror Show channel. Cecil, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. How are you, good sir? Thank you for having me on, by the way.
Of course. We met a couple months ago on a stream that had like 35 people on it. But Cecil really jumped out. We had a good back and forth, I think, banter, and he just seems
you
like
laughed at my
dude.
Awful, terrible, egregious jokes.
No, that's not fair. It looks like there's a Spider-Man in the corner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very glad he came in with a mask on because his mom would kill me if he didn't. But yeah,
sure.
Spider-Man, I'm streaming right now. You want to say hello? There you
Hi.
go.
Is this the Tobey Maguire or the Andrew Garfield? Or
he's the new breed. He's what's coming after Tom Holland. Actually.
Yes, yeah, of course.
I got to train him up a little bit. All right, buddy.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, we don't want him to hear any spoilers from Romulus in case he's going to be seeing it soon.
Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. That's what we do here. I'm actually excited. So, we'll get to Romulus in a little bit. I don't know anything about Cecil's taste on the Alien films. I imagine for a guy that has a horror channel, probably likes a lot of them, but we'll get there. So I think how we're going to do this today is there's 9 Alien films with the AVP crap. We're going to go chronologically through them, and then we're going to say where they rank on our list. Now, Cecil, I'm kind of cheating here because I've ranked these movies a couple of years back.
Okay.
But I did write them down, and then I checked on my YouTube channel to see if it lined up from 2 years ago, and it turns out I have the same opinion I had just 2 years ago. What an amazing thing!
Nice.
I agreed with myself. I'm like, oh, Adam, yeah, he gets it. This guy gets me.
Yeah, no, that's great when that sticks over time. I think the only one that might have jumped in my opinion of it is Prometheus, from watching it the first time to watching it the second time.
Interesting. I just watched it last night with my family, so I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that movie.
I did very much. I did like it better for sure the second time.
We'll see. You want to get it? You want to get into it? You want to get dirty with this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
This is going to be fun, and I'll tell you just a little bit about myself since this is our first date technically. I am the kind of guy like that. I am a crowd pleaser enjoyer. So I am not super strict on films a lot of times. If I'm entertained, that's fine with me. And the way I decided to rank these is what order would I rewatch these in? That's kind of the easiest way for me to establish how much I like each one ultimately. But I'm also the guy that actually enjoys Freddy's Dead, and films of that ilk. So,
sure.
So we'll see what everyone thinks, but it's gonna be fun, like you said.
It's funny when I used to do reviews not that long ago. One of the requirements, I guess, in my mind at least, was rewatchability. But in the last like year or so, I've kind of taken that off of one of the requirements because nobody rewatches anything in the new generation. It's like, what's coming next? Yeah, what's next? There's no time to rewatch. Maybe it's because I have kids and I just look at how they kind of operate, and they're like, yeah, we saw this movie, Dad. And I was like, you were 5. You were 5 when you watched Alien. It wasn't really registering. Could we just watch it again before we see Romulus, please? I did get them to rewatch at least.
Like your kids are like, we don't have the time, Dad. You have all the time.
I know.
I don't have the time.
Well, the problem is there's just so much biting for their attention. With YouTube, True. TikTok, Fortnite's right there. Fortnite's just around the corner. Yeah. Oh yeah, Connor loves Minecraft. My son Connor, he's all in, and he's watching YouTube videos on Minecraft. I'm like, this stuff's garbage. This stuff's not true. I know. I have a YouTube channel,
dude. They watch because we have a few kids living in the house right now, and they watch a Minecraft channel that the cuts are like choppier than Coco Melon. Like it's crazy how like I'm like, you guys, you can't keep watching this. It's gonna shrink your attention span even more. It's crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say anymore. But anyway, I took rewatchability off the list because I felt like I was a dinosaur with that thought process. Even though for me it is super important still because we grew up quoting movies and all that stuff. Anyway, guys, subscribe to the Horror Show channel. Cecil's awesome, as you can tell just from the few minutes conversation. And let's jump in. So the first movie that was released, I do Adam fun facts on this channel, Cecil. Here's a really big fun fact for the people watching on his channel as well. Alien was the first film in the franchise and was released in 1979. I know this is going to be kind of a surprise for a lot of you out there, but Alien was the first one that came out. Sigourney Weaver really kind of sold it as one of those first strong female leads, effortlessly doing so because they didn't have to tell the audience that she was a strong female lead.
Right.
She just did it. There was
she's just badass. Yeah.
She's just awesome, effortlessly so. Listen, this is number 2 on my list. I'm not going to beat around the bush, and it goes back and forth between this one and Aliens. They always shift gears, so I've already given my top 2 spots away, but I don't think any real Alien fan is going to not have one of these on the top. Cecil, where does Alien rank for you?
Number 9. No, I'm just kidding.
Chest burster comes up.
Attacks the screen, comes through. I'm actually the same. I'm number 2 on this one. I think I can't really remember which one I was first exposed to, but my guess would be Aliens because I grew up essentially a Cameron fanboy, and Terminator 2 came out when I was 12. And that was the first Terminator movie that I ever saw. It was one of the first big action movies I saw in the theater. So it's like in my DNA. I love that. And then The Abyss. I've always loved The Abyss. That was my number 1 movie for years and years and years. Now it's probably Jaws, but The Abyss still remains up there. And then, of course, Aliens, I loved as well. And it's funny because those 3 also happen to have three of the best director's cuts ever to have been released, in my opinion, because they all have 30 extra minutes that are all awesome. Are they all necessary? Probably not, but they're all awesome and great if you love those films as much as I do. So I think I was first exposed to Aliens, but when I went back and watched everything, including the first one, I loved it because I'm such a horror fan, and it was truly a horror monster movie. And creature features are my favorite subgenre of horror. And, Alien and Predator are just 2 of the biggest creature feature subjects that we've ever gotten. Right. So I've always liked Aliens a little bit more. So I've given away my 2 top spots as well. But yeah, Alien falls at number 2 for myself.
Yeah. It's just like you brought up Predator, the fact that the Xenomorph and the Predator still all these years later are basically the 2 most iconic characters ever. And these creature designs are basically unmatched by anything in the last 40 years is a testament to how good those creations were at the time. And Alien 1, yeah, listen, it's a little rough at some spots, especially in the final act when he's kind of like hanging out the side of the ship and whatnot. But just the chest burster scene lives rent free in my head still to this day. And apparently there's a yes, thank you. That's actually the one I think about first when he's in the hello, my baby, hello, my
honey, hello, my ragtime gal.
Yeah, so good.
I just love that John Hurt is just like, not again.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, and Hurt just again, I have this top 10 video coming out tomorrow, and the chest burster is obviously on the list because when I saw that as a kid and Hurt's chest just blows open and spackles the crew with blood, this disgusting little thing. Like, oh my God. And then it just gets better from there.
The fact that they also got the tail to kind of curl around the base of it at the same time, it's such a masterful way to make this thing look so alive, even though it's just like
well, the way they just framed it up, and there's like the blood oozing from its mouth. In some instances, you could see that thing looking kind of adorable, but in the context of the film, no, it's frightening.
Alien nailed viscosity when it comes to creature design.
Yeah, this is the other thing about it that I really enjoyed before we move on is just the like mystery beyond everything there. You have the engineer ship in the distance that has no real reason to be there other than to kind of make people go, what the fuck is going on? There's an alien that's got his rib cage open, and then they just never really go back to it because it just adds to this mysterious lore that Ridley Scott will eventually kind of ruin in the future, but also it's forgivable to an extent. We'll get there. But yeah, Alien, number 2 spot for both of us. So far, we're in 100% agreement. Let's jump to number.
I figured that would be the case for the top 2.
I mean, I don't know how you go any other way with it and still hold your card as a horror fan. But here we are with the 3 spots. When I get the right thing up, there we are. Aliens. The number 2 spot. The second movie released, Aliens, in 1986. James Cameron takes over. Cameron, who, as Cecil referenced, Terminator 2, also did Terminator. He did the Avatar movies, which apparently he's going to just die making and make me sad because we'll never get anything amazing from him again.
No, that's not true. That's not true. There was actually a story that came out recently that said he wanted to go back to something else besides Avatar. Oh, fuck. What was it?
True Lies?
No, it wasn't True Lies, unfortunately.
The Abyss?
No, it might have actually been
Titanic. He's going to do Titanic too.
It might have been a Terminator thing. I can't remember what it was, but I think he said he wants to go back and maybe it was even Battle Angel because he did help with that.
He produced it. Yeah.
But yeah, there was something else that he said he wanted to do outside of Avatar. So I was like, oh, there's hope. Thank God. Okay.
Yeah, I gave him a pass because he gave us so many freaking good movies in a row. But Avatar 2 was terrible. I don't understand how
so many people like it more than the first one.
I don't get it. I thought that was awful. And
I liked the first one a lot, but the second one was it was a little basic for me.
I like the first one as far as like the groundbreaking technology.
Right.
And the planet Pandora was cool and these new characters. But holy shit, I bought it on Blu-ray and I have yet to get through that movie in its entirety. They really are like mine theater rides that the ones with the chairs and you're moving around. It's one of those kind of vehicles.
4DX experience, yeah.
Yes. It's a amusement park ride that's really fun. But the second one was not even fun for me. But what is fun is Aliens. This movie kicks ass. It goes a different route, which you do not often see from sequels. Typically, they play it very safe and they just do more of the same. But Cameron's like, fuck it, we're gonna go sci-fi action this time. We'll still put horror in here, but this is its own beast. He broadens this thing way open. He introduces a queen alien, which was his idea. And if you look at the story of this film, it's just so brilliant how he juxtaposes Ripley's relationship she has with Newt as this daughter figure she's trying to save. And then you have the queen alien who also we find out these guys aren't just emotionless killing creatures. There is an instinctual mother-like quality to the queen, because Ripley plays off that at the end when she's going to burn those fuckers, and the queen's like, and
she's
you can
like,
just
back off.
You can see the queen just gritting her teeth, like, oh god, I want to kill you. Just get out.
Really made her a character.
Oh, she was so good. I was blown away when they revealed that thing, and he just comes, in the corner, just massive.
Mm-hmm.
Do we only see a queen alien a couple more times in AVP and Resurrections?
Yeah. They don't they don't go to it every time, but there's usually an aspect of it.
I think we need another queen. I want a queen again. It's been a while.
Yeah, I agree. Well, there's so many interesting things about aliens, right? Like, first off, do you know the story? I don't know how true it is, but there's a story as to when James Cameron turned in his first script with the title, the way he presented it. Do you know that story?
Please tell me. I'm not sure.
Basically, he presented the script to the studio, and all he did was add the S to alien, but he made the S a $. So he's like, here, this is what's next. And it was just aliens, but with a $sign as the S at the end.
That's awesome.
So that's one story. But yeah, the fact that Cameron came in and just, again, like you said, made it so much kind of bigger feeling, but also gave all the characters time enough for you to really associate with them and really kind of appreciate them and not want to see them die. And again, I personally think the director's cut of Aliens is superior, just because there's so many more cool moments. One, you see Newt's parents bring the alien back to the colony.
Just an FYI, I have not seen the director's cut of Aliens. I have not seen it.
Okay, well,
I need to learn what's different. I need to watch that.
You're going to learn what's different right now.
Please, tell me.
So they actually show that Newt's family was the one that were out in the rover, and they're the one that finds the egg, and Newt's father gets face hugged, and they bring him back to the colony. And so Newt's family is the reason the colony gets decimated.
Oh shit. Okay.
And then at one point, when they are waiting for the aliens to come to them, and they're hunkered down, with the motion detectors, before that, they actually set up a bunch of sentry guns in a couple of hallways. That there's a whole sequence where aliens are coming down the hallway, and the sentry guns are just taking them out. That's from the extended version.
I swear that was, maybe I have seen it then and didn't.
Yeah, you probably have.
I don't know. I've seen the sentry gun part.
Yeah, sure. Another thing is they also reveal not only that Ripley was under for 57 years, but Carter Burke also reveals that she had a daughter that now has died in that amount of time because she was in stasis for 57 years.
Okay.
So she tells her, and that's why her association with Newt makes so much more sense, because she sees her as her daughter who is now passed on.
Right.
So those are three of the huge changes that I think were made the movie so much more awesome. Each of those is like a good 5-minute chunk, but there's even like another 10 minutes beyond that. So
there's no sentry guns at all in the original cut?
Nope.
Because I've seen that scene, so I must have completely blacked out on Newt's parents, or I don't know what's going on, but I'm gonna have to look into that. But that's amazing. Aliens. Oh shit.
Cody Leach.
It's only downhill from here.
Yeah.
It's only downhill from here. But Cameron, Terminator 2 and then Aliens, he just really, he couldn't miss for the longest time.
Agreed.
I was hoping he was going to do it with Avatar 2. He's the man of sequels, but he did not complete the circle.
Some people might say he had a Shyamalan-esque career, where it's strong, and then tapered off. I would disagree with that.
Yeah, no, because Shyamalan gave us like one or two really memorable films, and then a bunch of like mediocre shit and bad crap. But Cameron gave us like 5 bangers.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a silly comparison, but I'm just having fun.
I understand. I completely understand. I don't have fun here. That's not what we do.
I know. That's not what we're here to do.
It's a very serious channel. It's called Adam Does Movies. All right, the third release, I was going to say in the 3 spot, but that would be ridiculous. Is Alien Cubed, as we call it here, Alien 3. They took David Fincher directed. As much as he would like to not have his name associated with this film, he sadly still is. Hot off his ventures in music video directing, he gets thrown into Alien 3. The script is being written on the fly. He's taking notes and he's writing as the movie is being shot by him. The studio is interfering every single day. They're trying to shut the film down every other week. It is absolute bedlam on the set of this thing. Sigourney Weaver's got a shaved head. Newt and Hicks are dead. The movie takes place on a prison planet. Cecil loves this film. I can already tell he's just holding his tongue as I tear this movie to pieces. No, I hate this movie. I see that here on Letterboxd, I have it at 3 stars, which is completely ridiculous. We're going to drop this down to 1.5 stars because I think at some point on Letterboxd, I was just randomly ranking stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to go back to this and fix it. Cody Leach is in the chat. He's another awesome horror movie channel. And he called me out because I had a rating on a movie I hadn't seen yet. And I told him I hadn't seen it. He's like, well, why did you rate it? I'm like, oh, God. We're having technical issues here on the channel.
Pay no attention to the review behind the man.
Funny enough, it was an M. Night Shyamalan stream that we did. But
Cody Leach, my balls hurt just hearing that premise again. That's what he said in the chat.
No, I hate this film. I really don't like it. I know there's a director's cut. Another buddy of mine, Tony from Heck the Movies, shout out to Tony. He gave me the director's cut to watch. He's like, Adam, it's better. I'm telling you, it's better. And I said to him, Tony, does it still take place on a prison planet with a shaved Ripley and 2 dead characters from the last film? Yes. Okay. Then I don't care how much better it is.
But there's 20 more minutes.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's like when people are like, "Oh, have you seen the Batman v Superman director's cut?" Wait, it makes the movie longer? If I got a shorter version, then maybe I would like it more.
Let's go more contemporary. Did you know that there's new versions of Rebel Moon that are even longer that you can watch?
I did. Oh, here's some really funny aside on that, by the way. So I watched and reviewed both parts of Rebel Moon. Awful films, just terrible. I don't know what happened to Snyder over the years, but Then the director's cut came out, and I watched like half of it downstairs on my TV. I'm taking some notes here and there, trying to figure out what was different. And I didn't realize that both director's cuts were released at the same time. I went upstairs later that day to finish watching it, not realizing I had pushed play on the second one, or Netflix had jumped to the second one. Had no idea, because I remembered the movie and I just thought that this is how it was now, like cut apart and changed. And so I reviewed both movies, but really just like bits and pieces of both. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, just a phenomenal film all around.
I skipped the original versions because I knew the director's cuts were going to come eventually. So I actually just finished Rebel Moon Part 1. That was that I watched in about, I think probably about 15 sessions. That's about how I can watch it.
That's how it's meant to be watched. Either that or just not at all. That's the ideal way to watch it.
5-minute installments while I was eating lunch. That's basically how I watched it.
Just because it's Cody and I like him, I'm going to put this up here. But I should tell people, if you want to get featured with a question answered, super chats are really appreciated. It's the lifeblood of my channel, and I know Cecil would love it on his side too. Super chats are great, and we'll read them at the end, and we'll answer questions or whatever you want. Cody says assembly cut miserable plus. Yeah, I bring that up because it is not a director's cut. I foolishly said that. David Fincher wants nothing to do with Alien 3. He did not make a director's cut of Alien 3. This is an assembly cut. But yes, I'm told it's better. Cecil, please defend this film for the next several minutes.
Well, you never said your spot. Where is it on your spot or your list?
I think it is in 7 out of the 9. It is number 7.
Okay, I'm at 4.
I don't even know. my good friend, again, my good friend Tony from Hack the Movies really likes the movie as well. We cannot get in agreement on this, but it's fine. I still talk to him. It's okay.
So the reason, again, a lot of it is probably nostalgia that plays into it for me. But I gotta say, when I was really thinking about it today, those first 4 Alien movies really do kind of stand alone in the franchise as like classic Alien movies to me, where it's like so much practical. You know, there's not a lot of CG. The ideas get wild in Resurrection. The ideas are wild in 3. And yes, the beginning, when obviously we lose Newton Hicks, that's wildly pissing, disappointing rather. Yeah. But the way the movie play, and yeah, the CG is not good, but they
rotoscoped a puppet in that final, when it's like crawling on the ceiling and shit.
Yeah.
That looks awful.
Yeah, the CG does not look good, but I think the atmosphere was always phenomenal. It was even throughout the whole thing, and it was a very singular atmosphere compared to other movies that I had seen up to that point. Granted, I was still, in my teens, but it was very entertaining. Sigourney Weaver continuing the Ripley storyline. Again, the way I grew up reading comics, and I grew up specifically reading mostly DC, and I was a huge fan of the Elseworlds line, which is, essentially the what if line of the DC universe. And so I very early on in my movie watching experience started to be able to compartmentalize films that way and be like, okay, it's not what I wanted to happen with Hicks and Newt, but this is the story we're getting, so let me kind of judge it based on what it is. And based on what it is, it's a well-told story about Ripley just reaching the end of her rope and finally just trying to end things on her own terms and get rid of this horrendous life form. Again, the atmosphere is amazing. Charles S. Dutton, incredible in the film. Very early Lucius Malfoy in the film, many cool people in the film, and a lot of the first instance where we see an alien actively creeping out and biting a human and pulling it away, presumably to eat it. Right? We've never actually seen that up until that point. I loved the person getting thrown into the giant industrial fan. Lots of cool stuff in the film, and I just enjoy it. And again, it's of that classic Alien atmosphere that feels less kind of artificial compared to what we see a lot nowadays. To me.
Oh, that was very well said, Cecil. It's really. Guys, listen, when I hear people talk about bad movies and try to defend it, they always do the same thing. Cecil did it as well. You have to have this 3-minute preamble explaining your life and how you came to the decision you did, because the movie in no way stands on its own. so Cecil's
we acknowledge it.
I'm an unconventional guy. I like unconventional things. So sue me. Big deal. Forget about No, listen, the Elseworlds bullshit you came up with. No, absolutely not. This is the 3rd installment, and they killed off 2 primaries. That's besides the point. I hated that Ripley's final outing after surviving all this bullshit is to go to this awful planet, shave her head, and have to deal with more crap, and then Terminator 2 kill herself at the end, only to have a burster rip out as a final fuck you to her in the franchise.
But she smiles as she takes her baby into the lava with her. She's happy about it.
It was so bad.
You and me, baby, we're ending this together.
It was so bad that Resurrections is oh my God, how the fuck are we going to bring this chick back? We have to do something to get her back. We'll just clone her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So stupid. Oh, no. I can't even talk about it anymore, Cecil. I'm so upset.
Okay.
Alien 3.
Let's move on.
Yeah. Can we please move on from this?
Yep.
All right. Let me bring up the right tab here. Let me catch my bearings.
I know what's coming next, too.
You do. So you had this in number 4. Might as well be number 1 on your list at this point. I had it at 7. Okay. Alien Resurrection. This. Oh my God, I lost my tab. This one came out. Look at. Do you see the amount of stars on this movie?
Whoa, look at you.
We're gonna change this one too, but not by as much as you think. We're gonna go 3.5 on this one. This one came out several years after Alien 3. This was Fox's trying to kind of like rebrand it, kind of step away from what came before, make it more edgy, more gritty, really more schlocky and stupid all around. But I actually have a great time with this movie. It is so ridiculous. And I will say, if Alien 3 didn't exist, and this was the third film in the Alien franchise, I would hate it with a passion. But because we have that separator film, and I lost all faith and goodwill in the franchise, going into this one and just having a good time with the nonsense, seeing Clone Ripley number 8, I believe is the number she was, and Winona Ryder as this like pithy little robot alien, a synthetic, Ron Perlman shooting the place up. The movie's just freaking insane.
Not
and then, of course,
Tuco in a very early role.
Tuco, baby hybrid alien human. We all love our baby hybrid human. Ripley's coolest son.
Though, well, okay, you know what? I'll stop. I don't want to jump too early.
Mama.
Let's not forget the it.
Oh, the nose. Yeah, the nose. Oh, that's wild. I haven't seen this one in a while. Doesn't the baby slash the throat of the queen alien because it rejects it as the mom?
No, not slashes the throat, knocks its fucking top jaw.
Oh, that's right.
Knocks the fucking top of its face off. Dude, it's just one of the cool moments in this movie. Come on.
Yeah, I love the scene where we see, and I don't think we ever see it again, where the xenomorphs are swimming underwater and they have that chase. That's freaking awesome.
They're like slithering like snakes. It's so smart.
Yes.
They're not like, fucking freestyling underwater. No, and also I'm just jumping right into the cool shit.
Please.
The scene where they're trapped by Brad Dourif. Let's not forget Brad fucking Dourif played the scientist in this, cast out the ass in this movie. But when there's 3 Xenos in the containment cell, and like the Xenos start like kind of communicating, and like they start like barking at the middle one, and it's like, what the fuck? And then they just
they just rip it to one,
so that the acid makes a way for them to fucking escape. I think that's brilliant in an Alien.
It is really cool. They do it to a dumber effect in Deep Blue Sea, another awesome schlocky movie where the 2 sharks just body the one in the middle.
Absolutely. Awesome. And I was going to say, based on your the fact that you were saying it gets silly and fun, is this kind of the Dream Warriors Dream Master of the Alien franchise, where it's still entertaining, but it's getting schlocky now.
It's getting very schlocky, yeah. And
is this Dream Child?
I think this was written by Joss Whedon. Did I make that up, or is that accurate?
Oh, so Whedon did. Yeah, Whedon did have to do with this. Cody reminded me, just reminded of a good moment. The chest burster coming through the dude's chest, into the through the other dude's head too, and he like goes over to him and he terminators through all these gunshots, and he grabs the dude and puts him in front of his chest as the fucking chest burster goes through his face. Cody's right. That's awesome.
It's a wild film. It's got some. I mean, I like the guy in the wheelchair, and the acid drops on his leg early on. He's like, ah! He drops backwards with the double guns. It's hilarious and it's fun. And again, if Alien 3 didn't exist and this was the next one, I would not like this movie because it's just it's so far removed from
what
kind
the
of
hell what did we just watch? Was there no aliens?
It's closer to like a Resident Evil movie than it is an Alien.
Like a scary movie to Scream, It's
yeah.
It's like Scream 3 was scary movie.
The first 2 are kind of thought provoking, more somber affairs, and then this one's just balls out. Like we're having a good time. I have this one at number 5 on my ranking.
Nice. I'm at 6.
We're pretty in agreement outside of that miserable pick you have at the 4 spot, but yeah, otherwise we're pretty solid so far. I like this.
We're on a similar wavelength.
We're on a journey.
We'll see if that continues.
I think the journey is going to start to slip when we get to more Ridley Scott films, but
I think so.
We'll find out. All right, let me get to the next one here. We have AVP, Alien versus Predator. is this the first Versus film ever to really popularize the brand? I mean, it didn't really popularize it because they took a long time off, but you had this, and then you had Freddy versus Jason.
No, Freddy versus Jason was 2020.
Shenanigans. This was
it's 2003. Freddy versus Jason was 2003. I think it was the year before. Let me double check that, but I think that's the case because the remake of Nightmare was 2010.
FVJ came out first?
I think so. Let's see. 2003, baby. Yeah, my memory did not fail me.
Thanks for coming on the show, Cecil. We'll talk to you again soon, bud.
All right, bye.
Nobody outdoes me on my own channel. No, I get corrected all the time. I actually did a commentary track with Tony from Hack the Movies on Alien 1, and I think I got every name wrong as we were doing it. I'm like, oh yeah, this is the scene where so-and-so. He's like, what are you talking about?
I can top that, dude. I started a pitch contest show on my channel called Elevator Pitch, where I bring on guests and we pitch movies, and we have like best of 3, and I've lost like 4 out of the 6 episodes. Like,
oh my god,
by a long shot.
That's awesome.
So I get it.
Let's give this a rating. Since I gave Alien Resurrection a 3.5, I'm going to do the same for AVP. I think that's a fair thing. The thing that really hurts this one, well, there's a lot of things. The story is maybe the dumbest thing ever. I couldn't even translate it to you if I wanted. It's something about the Predators put the xenomorph eggs on Earth in a pyramid so that they could have a great hunting party every 100 years when the stars align or some bullshit. Yeah. Is that close?
You're clear. I think so.
Okay.
I mean, all I really remember about that is that, when they're doing the explanation, there's a badass shot of a few predators at the top of the pyramid.
There's one with like a spear. Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like just using their plasma guns to take out aliens, swarming them up the pyramid.
It was basically the ending of Jet Li's The One, if you remember that chestnut.
Yep.
I am the one.
Yep.
I'm like, I stand alone. Like Godsmack is playing, and they back out. I'm like, this is fucking awesome. How long has this movie been on? 1 hour and 5 minutes, and it's done?
We totally did better than The Matrix.
Takes the motorcycle and smashes the guy.
Oh my god, I forgot about that effect.
This is gonna look great. This is gonna look really good in post.
I actually, when you said that, it flashed to the front of my memory.
Well, then he sandwiches two in between.
Yep.
Jason Statham with hair.
Oh god. Oh man.
Oh, it's Papa Roach. Hey Cody, do you want to come on the show? Because I'm really getting sick of your tongue in the comments. Papa Roach was the song at the end. I guess I should bone up on my The One trivia. See, again, I'm getting checked from people in the comments now. You know what? Actually, I didn't invite Cody on because he put out an Alien ranking like the day before this or a couple days ago. So I'm like, well, he doesn't need to come on then. He already talked about
he's
this.
A busy guy. I'm actually going to see him this weekend for the first time. I'm going to meet him. He's coming out to Arizona.
Cool.
Whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
I'm going to meet him.
Nice. He doesn't invite me onto his shows ever, but that's fine. He can come on mine whenever he wants.
Oh,
yeah. There's the bet. There it is. Alien versus Predator is a fun movie. Paul W.S. Anderson directed this.
Okay, hey man, look, this is pre-Resi Evil too.
Yeah. This one felt less like Resident Evil to me than Resurrections did, but either way, it's schlocky as shit. Also, you have the humans teaming up with the Predator at one point, which is actually kind of fun. She uses the hulled out skull of a xenomorph as a shield,
as a gauntlet.
Cool. Yeah, like it's pretty cool. She's got a spear. Is the tail the spear? If I remember right,
how does that make sense? Like she uses that because the aliens are supposed to be immune to their own acid. Oh, I guess that's true.
I think it's just and it's just kind of it's to block the acid spray.
I was just thinking that resurrection moment where the aliens destroy that one, but I guess it doesn't melt itself; it just melts the floor underneath. So okay,
and I think she has the tail of an alien as well
as the spear.
Of course,
and then the Yautja goes up and does like a little symbol on her forehead.
He couldn't have tossed her a sci-fi gun while he was at it. I mean, if he's gonna mark her,
she had one. I thought she had. Oh no, she just had the spear. That's right.
Yeah. I mean, maybe give her a mounting turret or something she can put on the shoulder.
There were again. This movie, I think, is enjoyable for a lot of reasons, though. There again, it's a series of moments that are really cool, like the predator net against the alien was fucking dope. I love the moment where an alien is sneaking down from the ceiling and down the wall to the predator, and it just doesn't even look, and it just shing, just flicks its arm back.
Oh
and
yeah,
slices the front of its head off.
He scopes it. He he pulls a blade.
Yep.
I was just waiting for him to like grab the shades and put them on right after that. There's that whole little pyramid fight is really sweet because you got the predator doing the vertical limit jump across. This was was this late 90s? Has to be late.
No, I think
2004.
2004,
okay.
Yeah.
2004. So this was around the time when the arm flailing jump was really popularized in movies, where someone would jump high and they would do this. I don't know if you've ever jumped off anything in real life, Cecil, but this is the most unnatural thing you would ever do when you jump into the air. But they do it in every movie.
I jumped off a high dive for the first time in 20 years about 2 weeks ago, and I'm pretty sure I did do that though. Like,
oh, okay. Well, then you could be in a movie. You could be a stunt person.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it's more like fat guy flailing than cool falling, but okay.
This movie does have a queen alien, and it's badass. They went full-blown CG with it. It looks very fake, but it's also cool as shit.
And it's a fight versus the queen without a loader to help you at the end, but you have a predator to help you.
Oh, that is easily the best moment of the movie, where I don't know the protagonist's name, but she's running through the snow, and the queen is like smashing through dinosaur bones or like whale bones or so. I don't know what it is. And then you just get like this corner shot where you see the predator not bullet time, but he's like
jump
slow motion
and throw its spear. Yeah.
Oh, it's epic. I'm like, oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, dude, that is cheer worthy. I agree.
Yeah, it was fun. Plus, the pyramid was actually kind of cool because you had all these different rooms. One of them was the nesting grounds where you had all the little sarcophagi with the face huggers coming out. And then you had the pyramid itself was like on a rotator, so walls were closing.
It was like Cube, like they built Cube inside the pyramid somehow.
The Predators were really thinking this through. They're like, all right,
really
the xenomorphs are not going to be enough of a challenge. We got to have rotating pyramid structures. It's going to be a whole thing. Yep. They got a predator with glasses on, a scientist, and he's like schematic. He's doing all the schematics for this. He's like, I'm telling you, it's got to be a pyramid.
Yep, he's got a whiteboard.
There's the one predator who knows that something bad's going to happen, like the day after tomorrow type of predator. Is like, you can't do this. It's going to fuck everything up. I'm telling you, a xenomorph is going to get onto our ship, which happens.
The old man Charlie predator. You're all doomed.
And it does happen because all of these dumb early versus movies had to have that cliffhanger ending. Oh, yeah. Freddy versus Jason had it with
Freddy's head winking.
Freddy's head like blinks or something. Yeah.
Winks.
Of course it does. And then this one, we have the chest burster coming out of the Predator at the end, which makes the hybrid, the Predalien. Yes, of course. I'm sorry. Did we say where we put these movies?
I'm at 5. This is above one above Resurrection for me.
And I'm just flip-flopped. I have it at 6.
Okay. Wow, so we are pretty close.
This is very fair so far. This is a very honorable list besides number 3. We've already talked about it. We don't have to go back to Alien 3. I think by the time this is over, you're going to put yours lower on the list.
Nope.
Yeah. I have so much like knowledge and goodwill on my side that you're going to be like, you know what, Adam, he gets it. He gets it.
Yeah.
Sutter Kane, DJ Bless is watching. This is my buddy DJ Bless. He's also Sutter Kane. He has a bunch of records, and he's actually a mixer in. He does Hollywood films, so it's pretty awesome.
Love he worked Sutter on Kane in the Mouth of Madness reference.
He mixed a few songs on Halloween Ends, everybody's favorite Halloween film, of course.
Excuse me.
I think that's the one he did. If I'm wrong, I apologize. Bless. 1,000 apologies if I'm wrong. But no, he's a cool dude.
Nice.
Okay, let's go to the number. What movie releases this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Aliens versus Predator Requiem. Oh my God. All right. This is dead last on my list. You can talk as much as you want about it, but I honestly could not get through this fucking movie.
What?
Actually, yeah, no, I thought it was just production-wise horrible. I thought it was far worse than the last one. I know they made it R, so it's edgier, it's darker, it's grosser. I couldn't see anything when I watched the movie. It had a very kind of 90s horror vibe to it, with the like the schlocky teenage kids in the pool and they're getting killed. And I don't like this movie at all. And actually, you know what? Maybe it's not number 9. It might be number 8. Let me look back really quick. But either way, it's very low on my list. Nope, it's number 9.
This could possibly flip-flop for me one spot above it.
If you're at number 3 with this movie, I'm just
no, I can't do that. I can't do that. But you know, honestly, looking at it, my biggest problem with Requiem was that it's so fucking dark. You couldn't see shit in the theater.
That's what I was saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what the hell is happening in that movie.
Yeah. That's a problem. So that does hold it back. I am just struggling with whether I would rewatch it before my number 7 and thus making it number 7, or if
I hope we're in agreement in this. And I want to tell you, my number 8 spot on this movie, or on this list, has flip-flopped several times over my years of whether or not it should be the last. So we'll see if we're in agreement. But yeah, no, this movie's just so forgettable, so amateurishly done.
But again, to me, it's got cool moments. It's got a lot of cool moments. It's got the Predalien.
I just don't remember any of them.
So it's the one, to me, like, I know that technically the first AVP took place on Earth, but it was all in this pyramid. Yeah. This is the only one that has been like a slasher on Earth with aliens and predators. I'm actually very excited about Alien Earth, because I'm assuming we're going to get aliens on Earth. And that's, you know, that's exciting to me. This is the only movie that actually fulfilled that wish. Lots of cool moments. The moment when you see how the Predalien impregnates women,
I didn't see anything in the movie, but I'll take your word for it. That's something that's impregnated.
It's cool. Yeah. Cause it latches on, its mouth kind of latches on to the human females, and it just like pumps eggs into their stomach, and so they like birth numerous aliens out of, like, they burst out of their pregnant women's stomachs. Like it goes in and starts impregnating one woman, and then later, like, you see all these women that have like burst stomachs and stuff, and you see that it's propagating. It's also building its own alien catacombs in the sewers, right? So it's doing all of that. It's not trying to, like, it's trying to build a hive, but also hunting solo like a predator does. So I like the fact that it took place on Earth. It's a slasher, but with aliens and predators. But I still put it at 8, but I don't hate it the most out of all the movies.
It's an alien dude going around impregnating a bunch of women. You could say he's a super predator. That's what I would call him. He's a super predator.
Nice.
Thank you. Just waiting for my chance to say that, because I have nothing to bring to the conversation about this film. I couldn't get through it. This visual, let me bring it up. This visual right here, nothing in this film looks anything like what you're seeing in that screen grab. That's a nice looking image. You'll never see that in the movie. But let's move on to, where are we at? This is going to get ugly, folks.
Cody said, Hulu producers, actually, there'll be no aliens on Earth. What gave you that idea? In a show called Alien Earth.
Ridley Scott's back, baby. We have Prometheus. Look at the star count. 4 stars I have on this thing. What do you have here? 5, 6, 7, 8. This is your 9 spot?
Yep. This is the worst movie in the franchise. My least favorite in the franchise.
This did not go where I thought it was going to go.
It's not the worst movie in the franchise. It's just my least favorite in the franchise. It's my number 9. It's the least alien movie of all of them. And even though what I said at the beginning is true, I liked it more the second time than I saw it the first time. I still like it the least of all the alien movies, because it is the one I will rewatch the least out of all the alien movies.
Please expand on this before I say my piece.
I think the lore is overly convoluted for what needed to happen in this movie. I think the whole engineers seeding Earth, with the black juice,
Nuking Earth, really killing off all the humans.
It gets like, and we don't get any alien until the arrowhead morph at the end of the movie. We get a ridiculous like, if I were a face hugger is what we got. It's just this massive fat tentacled thing.
I love that part.
It's why it's so stupid.
Yeah, it's everything's I mean,
granted,
so weird.
You can say that about anything in Resurrection that I like. So, but yeah, no, I just the fact that they tried to explain the space jockey, but they made it less cool by doing so. And I thought it was okay that she extracted the alien from her, uterus before it bursted.
Oh, that part was intense as shit.
That was cool. But that's about the only thing that I like. I didn't like the Wayland or the old man Wayland shit. I wasn't a big fan. Like, Michael Fassbender's great, but I don't like David as
Guy Pearce, right?
Yeah, old
Guy Pearce is Wayland.
Yeah,
and when he showed up with the makeup, looking all old, I just kept thinking, okay, why is it Guy Pearce? So they're going to clearly have like a version where he's the regular age he is in real life, because why else would they hire Guy Pearce to play an old man?
But they never have a Covenant, right?
They never have a Covenant. Yeah, they do it at Covenant, but they don't do it in this movie. So I was just so confused. Why is he in this?
Yeah,
you can find an old guy that could play the part. But
also, just the random changes that were unnecessary. And like, there's one alternate thing that I saw where the infected dude that comes back in an alternate version comes back as like a CG creature that fucking attacks them, and it's so much cooler. But no, they went with he's infected and he's like a zombie. By the way, a little bit about me, I fucking can't stand zombie shit.
Oh,
like,
interesting.
I'm so over it at this point. Like, I used to love The Walking Dead, but only because I have the entire Walking Dead comic book series.
Oh, that show got garbage after after
I never even finished it. Never even bothered finishing it.
When Negan came on, it was so stupid.
I liked that. I actually loved that because I loved Negan as a character, but even that got watered down, and I just stopped caring about anyone in the show when our main characters all departed the show. But anyway, zombie stuff, it's just so rare that it's interesting. Like, Zombieland did it different. One of the only Zack Snyder's movies that I can really swear by, Day of the Dead, did a really good job in that reboot. But
Dawn of the Dead.
Thank you. Thank you. I would have gotten crucified on that. But
I got a correction back. I have been
you got me. But so many reasons why I just was not a fan of this movie and will rewatch it, easily the least of the entire franchise.
Let me salvage this film for everybody else that likes it, like myself. First of all, I would say that it's probably the most beautiful movie in the Alien franchise. This film is gorgeous cinematically, top to bottom. Yes, I will jerk off to the visuals all day long. I rewatched it 2 nights ago with my family. The visuals on my 4K TV were crisp. They were popping until the streaming gave up on Hulu, and it went to shit for a little while because streaming still sucks in 2024. But still, it looked great for the most part. Yeah.
Every clear bit of that uninteresting plot.
There is a lot. Listen, Ridley Scott has gone off the deep end into Crazyville a few years ago now. I watched that Raised by Wolves show that got canceled after 2 seasons.
I watched the first season. I couldn't bother with the second.
And here's the thing. Prometheus, to me, is kind of like that show where I watched all of it and I kept wanting more. Insanity. Like, it was so fucking weird. And this whole movie has a really cool concept of David, who's a synthetic, is around all these people that hate him. They're assholes to him, kind of for no reason a lot of the times. And, he kind of feels unwanted because that's basically what they tell him. He's unwanted trash. So he wants to play God himself. He's very invested in the idea of creation. And so when he sees this black goo, he gets this whole idea. He has this like subplot going on from Wayland and what Wayland wants. Then you have Charlize Theron, who just looks amazing all the time. And I'm good with her just being in the film as like this, this straight and narrow bitch who might be an android, but she's not. The idea of the engineers creating humans and all that stuff, whatever. I don't care so much about any of that. I do love the horror elements of this film, though, a lot, even though the scientists and these people these experts or whatever they are the dumbest idiots I've ever witnessed in a film, outside of my least favorite of the Alien films, by Requiem.
So is Charlize. I mean, she couldn't have been a synth because a synth would have been smart enough to run to the side.
Oh my God. So this scene is so funny. I'm watching it last night with the kids, and that scene comes up.
Zig,
keep
in
mind, my son's 12, and he's going, why don't they just take a left? Why is he running? He knows this at 12. And I'm trying to defend it kind of, but I already know that this is dumb. I'm like, it's a lot wider than you would think. And on the spot, you're not really thinking, you're just instinctively running. Not 5 seconds after I say that, does Elizabeth Shaw fall to the ground and then just do a roll to the side.
Yeah.
It's like they're right there. All they had to do was move like 5 feet over. And like,
it's kind of the equivalent of the Austin Powers moment. No.
Yeah, exactly. And then of course my son, I thought you said there wasn't room. I'm like, shut up. Just watch the movie and enjoy. To be fair, Connor, my son, freaking loved the movie. He thought it was awesome. But a 12-year-old, what do they know? And what does a 41-year-old know? I thought that the idea of kind of the evolution of the xenomorph was cool. Setting aside the fact that I really didn't want any lore about the xenomorph, but we have it, so we're here. It probably would have been a lot better if we just kept them as mysterious creatures, not created David killers that we get later on. But
supposedly it was Ridley Scott clarified that David didn't create the xenomorph; he copied the xenomorph. He knew about the xenomorph, but he copied it because, and their reason for saying that is because there is a mural in Prometheus showing the xenomorph, which is pre-David. So the xenomorph existed, and David apparently just tried to copy the perfect. Creature.
Okay, he still created the fuckers that we know.
The
ones that existed before, where are they?
Well, we don't know that. We don't know that that Davids are the one that come in the Alien franchise.
That is true. There was the mural always did puzzle me. I'm like, how does this exist? And why would the engineers have a mural in their ship?
And also technically the xenomorph at the end of Prometheus is a neomorph. And the neomorphs are at the beginning of Covenant, and then the one that looks like a xenomorph is called a praetormorph.
Yeah, as everyone knows, of course.
Yeah,
and that's my favorite part of this.
Xenomorphs, technically.
My favorite part of this movie is the ending when, and again, I did like all the evolution of the goo as it goes into people's throats. You had the squid baby one that becomes this gigantic face hugger, takes down the engineer, and then we get the angsty teen xenomorph that's like, I don't like it. I don't want it. That was awesome.
Xenomorph.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of that guy. I think he kind of shows up a little bit.
No,
is it a white version?
Neomorphs.
Yeah, it's like an albino version or something.
Yeah, yep. That's
this movie is wild, and I will say, I've watched this movie like 4 times. Again, it's kind of like Raised by Wolves, where I don't know what it is that's drawing me to this shit, but it's like so different from anything else out there that I can't help but watch and be in awe at the visuals and the horror elements. But yeah, the plot, the storyline, the lore, every time you try to do this kind of stuff, you end up making more questions and more plot holes. Look at, I think in my top 10, because there's a moment here in my video tomorrow, I referenced the TV series Lost. This show, and anytime they do prequels to movies like this, feels like season 3 or 4 of Lost, where they've built up so many questions at this point. They're like, oh God, how do we answer? We answered this one, but now we've made like 4 more. And we're screwed. Let's just do as many as we can and move on. Nobody will notice the alien mural. And if they do, we'll explain it away with something even dumber.
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. You have this at 9. I have this at...
Can't be 3.
I have this at 4.
Okay. Yeah.
So this is my Alien 3. This is my Alien 3.
That's fair.
We each got one. We each got one.
Yeah.
And
literally.
By the way, that Elizabeth Shaw.
Elizabeth.
I'm gonna give you one for your movie, and I'm gonna give myself one. That Elizabeth Shaw scene where she is doing the whole C-section is fantastic. That is like top tier horror in Alien. And for you in Alien 3. The dog the dog moment where the xenomorph is like ripping through that thing.
Yeah.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
That is the highlight of Alien 3.
Absolutely. Yeah. And well, that's the thing. The assembly cut shows that it's not a dog alien. It's actually an alien born of these giant bison creatures that are only in the assembly cut of Alien 3.
I did hear about the cow bison things.
Yeah.
I did.
Basically a bunch of appas. But yeah.
don't do appa dirty like that.
But yeah, so that's the funny thing. Moving into Covenant, right? Because that's what we're gonna do here. Covenant does the exact same thing to Prometheus.
Oh, is that where we're let's go there. So that's the next one on the list.
Yeah, because Covenant does the exact same thing to Prometheus that Alien 3 did to Aliens, where Elizabeth Shaw survives, but no, off camera, she was used by David as a vessel for his version of the morphs.
And if you look right over here, you can see what I thought about that idea.
And yet I put it at my number 7. I'd still watch it before Requiem and Prometheus.
I truly hate this movie. Pretty much from top to bottom, I hate this film. It took
this remind me of John Hammond. I really hate that
I really just hate that man. Yeah. It took anything that was interesting about Prometheus, threw it out the fucking door because
brought it back to my shit.
Because Ridley Scott's like, oh, people, it turns out, just want xenomorphs. So we got to somehow get rid of the engineers. So we'll just nuke them with the black goo. For some reason, all the engineers are just hanging out in one central hub on this giant planet.
Right. Off screen again. It was all
that one's told in like a flashback. Yeah. But Elizabeth Shaw, who was the main character, this is even worse than Alien 3. This would be the equivalent of them killing Ripley at the beginning of the movie. She died during the plane's departure or something. Shaw's gone. We don't even see like her body in this one. We see her skeleton.
Well, no, it's technically her. It's her body, but her skin's all peeled.
But it's all it's like decomposed, and we see her ripped open.
It's pretty pale. I only know because I had to watch a Alien Covenant ending explained to remember the fucking thing before we did this today. So
I call it Alien Coven shit lovingly.
Nice.
I think it's enough of a difference from how she looks, so they didn't have to pay her anything to be in it. Yeah. They didn't have to use her likeness enough.
Yep.
Like, just muddy it up a little bit more. Then we don't have to pay her anything.
But again, cool moments. The backburster scene was dope.
Yeah, but okay, so much like Prometheus had this problem. The scientists being stupid. I didn't really get into why. There's the coochie scene where he's petting the snake, the worm that's coming out of the water. And it's like the scariest thing ever. He's like, "Hey, buddy, hey!" And he's like, "Oh shit!"
Looks like a fucking cobra. Like, we know as humans not to pet a cobra.
It's okay. That scene was ridiculous. But every scene is like that in Covenant. There's not a scene where they're not doing the dumbest shit ever. So right when they land on the planet, unlike in Prometheus, where they at least scan the environment and take off the helmets, in this one, in Covenant, they take those things off like right when they land. And for some reason, they land in the water. I don't know. Like, oh, well, we got breathable air. Cool. And then instantly they're infected by the goo spores that are flying around.
Oh, yeah.
Which also, that feels like a much greater threat than xenomorph killing machines, because this stuff's airborne. It's just COVID. It's everywhere.
Yeah, it's The Last of Us.
That seems like a much deadlier thing. You have a pathogen floating around. But then that scene you're talking about at the sick bay, we have to get the lead up to the sick bay. This guy's infected. He's going down, and these people are like, yeah, bring him on the ship. He's like throwing up blood everywhere. They don't have him in any sort of a quarantine containment unit. It's just right onto the ship.
Yeah. And
then the woman locks her out after they've already been fully exposed, and he like barfed up blood on her. Yep. This whole thing is so stupid. I could not get invested in any of the horror elements because I was so frustrated with the entire scenario taking place.
Wait, am I right? Isn't that the same exact thing that Prometheus did with the character coming back and Charlize Theron not letting him back on the ship?
Yeah, so in Prometheus, they actually don't let him on the ship because there is at least some
intelligence. One they do. That's right, yeah.
there's some semblance of intelligence in Prometheus. Like, you have the dumb people, but then there's at least people that are like reasonably going, no, we are not letting this guy in the ship. And even the dumb people are like, we can get him in like a containment thing and bring him on. And no, Covenant's like, we don't have time for any of that. We're just going full blown stupid, and we're bringing these people in. Then you also have David. This movie went all in on David.
Yeah.
Ridley Scott has a flute on for this character. There are several flute playing sequences for no reason. And then it does the thing that 90s cartoons did, where you will have two versions of the same character.
No, the Acolyte. Come on.
Or the Acolyte, to be more recent. You have two versions of the same character, and the only difference is one of them's like a country bumpkin with shorter hair. So we get the ending.
He got a southern drawl.
So we get the ending where David...
A synthetic has a southern drawl.
The synthetic kills the other one, shaves his head, and then he comes out. He's like, "Oh, I'm the good David, y'all. Everything's great." I don't remember the other one's name. It doesn't matter.
It's like Hank or some shit.
Yeah, I just hated this. I hated this movie so much.
Again, just because of the Xeno action and the gore. I put it above Requiem and Prometheus, but again, I could flip-flop Requiem and Covenant so that Prometheus is 9 and Covenant is 8. Like, I could very easily do that.
Well, I would appreciate that much. You could do that much for me. I would really.
All right, you got it.
Okay, and the last and maybe least, I already know that's not true because I saw your video reviews on it. Alien, not rated yet. Let me go ahead and put a rating on.
Okay.
Let me put a rating.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm coming.
Here. We're going to put it at 4 stars.
Nice.
I really enjoyed this film. But this is one of the interesting ones where I can totally see why people would not like this movie.
Yep.
There's some films where I just don't understand. Alien 3 for you. Like, I don't get how you like it. I can't see it. And there's movies that I like that I can totally see why people hate. This is one of them. Alien Romulus is very much doing the soft reboot thing. The Force Awakens, Jurassic World, Twisters. There's a bunch of them.
Yep.
I'm okay with that because soft reboots typically happen, not with Twisters, but when there's a long period of time that's gone by and we need to reintroduce people to the franchise, or when the franchise goes so far off the road that they need to bring us back to some semblance of sanity. Yep. So Romulus to me was a course correction. It was a way to reinvigorate the franchise, bring in old fans, possibly pull in new fans, and give a very kind of like standard sci-fi horror film the way that a lot of us have just been clamoring for before Ridley Scott came back and went full-blown Ridley Scott.
Agreed.
We have the things that kind of keep it from a 5 for me is I'm getting a little tired of the trope of we need to have the young Ripley character. We've had her in 4 variations now. We had Shaw. We had the I don't know the black actress's name from Alien versus Predator. She was actually great. I would have liked to see more of that actress. And then we had that stupid lady with the mop top haircut in Covenant.
Yep.
I don't really get this actress's appeal. She was also in the Fantastic Beasts movies and a few other things. Here we are with Disney Afternoon Ripley, who is good. I do like her a lot. I was having a hard time placing her age. Sometimes she looked older, sometimes she looked like she was 15.
Yeah, they all look so young.
I'm getting older, so everybody's just looking really young these days for me. I really dug the horror elements in the final act, even though, again, kind of like Prometheus for me, I was like, do I like this? Am I into this bizarre design? I should say, sorry, that we're going to go into spoilers for Romulus. Should we or should we not? I don't know.
I think for the purposes of the ranking, I think it's probably a good idea, but I could go either way, whatever you want to do.
That's fine. We can. I talked a lot. Why don't you say some stuff and we'll jump back and forth a bit more.
Well, yeah, this is my number 3. Is that where it falls for you too then, or?
This is my number 3 as well. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Yep. So we're pretty close, almost the whole.
We are. We just had that one big disagreement, and that's okay. That's all right. I'm not going to call you a shill or a sellout or say you don't know film.
Well, I don't get paid to review movies like Cody does. So
you know. I mean, we're not going to talk. We're not talking about Cody again. That guy. Let me tell you, no, he's great.
I mean, there's certain guys that are clearly paid for their reviews.
I feel like I still owe Cody like $9 because we went to this we went to a MegaCon last year, and they opened up Universal Studios after hours for just the people just the people attending MegaCon. So I went with him and a few other buddies, and he'd never been there to like Harry Potter World. So I'm like, you got to get a butterbeer, Cody. You got to get the butterbeer. And so he bought one, and they're like $7, $8, $9. And then we went in the line for Hagrid. Well, since there was no line at all, we went right through and we couldn't keep our drinks. So he had like 4 drinks of this butterbeer and he had to throw it away. And the whole time just like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I told you to buy this.
Well, now his comment earlier makes more sense, because he said that there's no one other than you that he'd rather ride bitch on a broomstick with.
Oh, good. Oh, good. No, that's not related.
Oh,
to
that's
that
nothing to do.
No,
okay,
no.
okay. I'm sorry. Fair enough.
I'm
that's
joking.
Just
Yeah,
different night. Okay. But yeah, so I agree with you. I think this was definitely a course correction, and I've seen obviously some articles saying it's a glorified fan film. Look, we've been getting glorified fan films since The Force Awakens, and probably even before that. Like, who cares? Just because these people liked the franchise, like they've been given the keys to the kingdom, they're still talented enough to do good shit, even though they're fans and they want to reach back. Now, again, this is someone that has written a very fan servicey sequel to Dylan's New Nightmare that, I'll probably have to tone back some of that shit. But, for right now, that's kind of how you write as a fan. And Fede is a fan. And he respects, obviously, all of the series, because he references Prometheus, he references Resurrection, he references Aliens, Alien, like, there's all of it's in there. And so, and he did it with aplomb. Like it's a beautifully portrayed movie. It's that corridor horror that I love so much with the Alien franchise. The beasts themselves are scary. He's the first one that made facehuggers really scary to me. Like, the first time you see it jump out of the egg, okay. Every other time it's the same fucking shit. This is the first time where they're just essentially giant spiders that move super fast, and that's unnerving as shit. Yeah. So, like, I love that.
I mean, I thought the giant face hunger of Prometheus was pretty freaky too, but we won't go back there. Okay, we won't go back there.
Adam, tell me about your hentai love.
Hey, listen. I said this in my spoiler video, but I found Romulus to be pretty sexual with these aliens. There's a lot of kind of like phallic moments with things going in the mouths. I'm like, well, we're really going all in on the mouth stuff, aren't we? Or even the xenomorph cocoon having a very kind of interesting design to it. And she's a spitter.
Oh, the xenomorph cocoon is just a straight up vag, dude. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And is that a new concept? I don't remember.
No, that is the one thing. So it's funny because when I saw the trailer, right, for Romulus, you see that one moment where like the hands are like unfurling. And I was like, wait, are we gonna finally see the chest burster grow into the Xeno? Like, that'd be awesome. No, apparently there's a whole cocoon phase that we've never seen in 8 previous movies.
Which is also a little weird because I'm pretty sure we've seen the remnants, like the skin of the past.
We absolutely have. Yeah, because it sheds its skin as it gets bigger, just like a snake. But
it's snakes and cocoons. It does both.
Yeah, like there's snake-a-pillars.
Yes.
So that was interesting, and the vision of it, and not only that, but there's I mean, he shoved a zapping rod up into it, and what are we doing here? But nonetheless, it was still like, I wouldn't consider that a misstep. I would consider that Fede trying to add his stamp on the lore.
Oh, I don't think it has a misstep either. I thought it was badass.
It's an interesting thing. I don't necessarily think that's the best way to do it. And like, now are we supposed to assume that every blank morph grows in the same way, or is it just this one? Right? Is it this xenomorph that does the cocoon?
Sorry, my buddy Chris is messaging me. He's wondering why we're still going because I'm supposed to be playing Fortnite right now with him.
Oh,
this is a priority for me at my life as a 41-year-old adult.
Chris, I've never played Fortnite once. I'm
only
a couple of years older than you.
You have more of a life. You have more of a life than I do, apparently.
No, I'm replaying The Last of Us 2 currently, so that's why. And I'm
replaying it. Ugh.
I know.
I did
Well,
not
I've
like
only
that
played it
story.
once, and I haven't played the remastered version, so that's what I'm playing right now.
It's got 16 more pixels.
Yeah, it remastered after 2 years.
Yeah. Did you play Alien Isolation?
Loved that, and we got to see the phone, right? The
I have
saving
not.
phone.
I haven't played it. I've had it on my in my downloads folder.
Dude,
it's been free for years
it.
on PlayStation Plus, and I just keep not pulling the trigger
prioritize it. It's so good. It's overly long. Because like there's a whole back half that's more synthy than alien-y, but it's still very, very worth it. And yeah, the save stations are like these little phones on the wall throughout the complex, and Fede put one of those in Romulus.
Nice.
So it was really cool to see that, you know, as as an Isolation fan. But yeah, I actually felt that there was a lot of vibes of Isolation in this too. Another thing that made it so good is we get back to the sort of grunts, right? Like they're not grunts per se, they're not military grunts, but they're you know, lower echelon in the hierarchy, right?
Sure, right.
That's the best way to maybe put it without
that's apt. Yeah.
And they're just trying to escape their station, and they run afoul of a beast on the in the middle of their, you know, best laid plans. So it's cool. The problem is they're all so young that it does come off as a little bit not CWE, but I had he didn't spend enough time on each character to make me care about the characters. Like we were told that someone was pregnant, but we never really saw the struggle of that until it became a plot point. You know what I mean?
I mean, that was such an obvious plot point too, when they had this like little side quest where she's like, "I'm pregnant." I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna be doing something with this." There's no way they're bringing out this information for no reason.
Yeah, Cody, by the way, chimed in, said they used red flares from Isolation 2 in the facehugger chase scene. Yep.
That wasn't a Jurassic Park.
There were red flares. There were Didn't Ripley use flares when she was leaving breadcrumbs on her way to get back Newt? But I don't know if they were red. But anyway,
that was in the Newt cut. That was in the Newt cut.
It was the Newt cut. Yeah, right. And then The Last of Us Part 2 is brilliance. God damn it.
No, we're not. No, we're not doing that.
We're not doing that. Come on.
We're
not doing that, Cody. We're not doing
that. That's a 4-hour stream right there, Cody.
I would love to get in on that. That'd be a fun one. Debating The Last of Us 2 3 years.
Oh my god.
Well, it's going to be apt with the show coming out, but still, yeah. Romulus is just, and of course, let's not forget about the amazing. Like he had really cool ideas, Fede. The idea of when we saw the trailer and there was that one shot of what looked to me like interior endocrine systems. You know what I mean? Floating in the air. I was like, what the fuck is that? And then to see that it's actually just alien blood, and the reasoning as to why it's floating there, and the fact they made a whole sequence out of it that was similar to the swimming sequence in Resurrection, right? Loved that. I thought that was so cool, although I do find it funny that this predates Aliens, and she has a gun that aims for her, but the Colonial Marines in Aliens didn't have the self-aiming version of the pulse
different
rifle.
Ship, different tech, you know.
It's funny you say that, because apparently Ridley Scott tackled the whole thing is, why does the technology look prettier in Prometheus and Covenant than it does in the original films? And he basically said, well, it's a richer segment of society.
Sure,
it's better ships, it's cleaner stuff.
It's it's the George Lucas prequel bullshit. Like, oh, this is before the fall, and no, you have new tech, you have new toys, and you made it look prettier because you could. There's no explaining away this.
Don't give me any shit, Mr. Alien 3 is nostalgic. Sorry, Cody.
So yeah, Romulus is my number 3. A lot of fun action, a lot of great horror. It just moved really well from beginning to end. It was genuinely one of the first times in a long time I was in a packed theater and people were actually doing the whole like gasping and having some laughs and some thrills. And I mean, you're getting some emotional like feedback from a film instead of watching Borderlands and going, what the fuck was this made by AI? What are we doing here?
So bad, dude.
It's so stock nowadays with movies. It felt like there was actual passion on the screen. Even if it was familiar, I don't care. It's well made. I said this in a different video, but believe it or not, most movies that go past 2 don't really have a whole lot to say. We've had 4 John Wick movies. They stopped having a plot after the first one, but people enjoy the template. They like seeing the hero go through the motions, and I can get why it gets stale. But for me, I was very happy to return to form.
I agree with you, and 90% of the time I agree with that sentiment entirely about past number 2, and sometimes even past number 1. It gets, unnecessary. Yeah. But I actually think that there was another example of something that actually, a film that did have something to say just this year. I personally think that A Quiet Place Day 1 was, yes, a similar setup, but it had a completely different message, which,
I enjoyed that movie. I did
too. But like, just take control of your life and do things on your own terms. That's a whole different, thing to say than the first movie. It is. So there are occasional
in the subtext, right? That wasn't like a. No, like if you look at the template, though, it's the same exact kind of wash, rinse, repeat.
True.
But yes, there was a different message. Yeah.
When you're in the franchise, you're going to have similar things. It's a matter of how you do it and what messages are you conveying, right?
Right.
So I think, but again, 90% of the time, I agree with you 100% that past 2, it's just complete trash,
well, I'm not even saying
there's no innovation.
I'm not even saying it's trash. Like, I still enjoy John Wick. I still will give Jurassic World movies the benefit of the doubt, even though they've been awful.
And yet I will rewatch them all.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I just love dinosaurs.
I know. That's where I'm at. And it's like, why does Jurassic Park have like the whole market on dinosaurs? We had 65. That was like the only movie. And it was fine. But
let's not forget A Sound of Thunder, Ben Kingsley's masterpiece.
No, I think let's forget that. Let's forget that movie altogether.
The Carnosaur series? Come on. Carnosaur 1, 2, and 3.
That's pretty old now. It's a pretty old franchise.
How dare you? If that's old, I'm old.
Yeah, those top shelf movies that don't even go to theaters. All right, well, this was a blast, Cecil.
Thanks,
I don't know. I don't think a single super chat came in all night. What a sad display. I've never had that in a live stream ever in my life ever. So I guess everybody's
charm. What can I say?
Yeah, that's never happened to me, but that's okay.
It's never happened to you.
It's never happened. No,
I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. I
feel like I should super chat.
Usually I do this alone, so people feel bad and they're like, "Oh, let's just give him some money so he stops the stream." But I'm not going to waste any more time because I have to get on Fortnite, and it's just of absolute paramount importance that I get on and play with my buddy Chris.
Absolutely. How could you not? For sure.
Guys, everybody, make sure to go subscribe to Cecil's channel, the Horror Show channel. Oh, God, Bubba did the courtesy. 99 cents. Thank you, Bubba. I appreciate that. After YouTube's cut, that's a solid 35 cents. I appreciate that.
He beat me to it.
Get out. And then he throws one in. The sympathy super chats are the best. I wonder if I can give myself.
Oh, I did it twice. Hey, there you go.
I'll issue a refund.
No, it's okay. That's how frequently I do super chats.
I actually don't even know how to issue a refund. I was just lying anyways. Guys, subscribe to the channel. He does a ton of stuff. It's awesome. Live streams just like here. A lot of reviews, horror related videos, which I kind of brand. Although I did see a recent horror film. I watched the new Awkwafina John Cena movie, Jackpot, on Hulu.
How was it?
Not good. Not good. It's an Awkwafina joint.
Oh, so she plays. Wait. Let me guess. She plays a gruff and tumble woman that you really can't mess with, but has funny lines.
That's right.
Well, no, she has what she thinks are funny lines.
Yeah, she has really bad posture. I just realized in that movie, she's really slouched forward.
Kind of like a female turtle, huh?
Oh, look at Cody gave me the $9.99 super chat. Cody, I gave him a $9.99 on his last one because he hit 150,000 subs, and so now he's just giving it right back to me. Spare change. Thank you, Cody. That defeated my goodwill towards you, sir, but I appreciate it. We have canceled each other out. And subscribe to Cody's channel as well. Okay. Absolutely. Everybody already is. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Cecil, do you have any final words? Anything coming up that people can be excited for?
I actually, if all comes to fruition as it should, the behind the scenes special of Dylan's New Nightmare should finally be ready to present on the channel, and I'm going to try and present it on the 1-year anniversary of the release of the film, August 31st. So if that's the case, it's going to be awesome. It's like a full-length feature documentary, and it's obviously been in the works a long time. So that's coming, and we will be releasing a version of the film with 2 shots blurred out so that YouTube does not demonetize it and will still push it out to people, because fuck YouTube.
Yeah,
but yeah, other than that,
we
just
love it.
Constant coverage. We're going to be reviewing Stream, The Crow, and one other thing this week. I don't know what, but yeah.
That's awesome.
Come back for that.
And I just noticed your gremlin in the background. I love that. That's fantastic.
Of course, I got to have the flasher.
Is that who that? Oh yeah, he's got the shade. Oh, I just realized that's his trench coat. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Got the best. That's why you placed my name just perfectly.
Yes. And on that note of flashing people in public, thank you for joining the stream. That's our alien. That's our alien ranking. If you're watching this later, or you just go on YouTube now on one of our channels, put down your ranking below. I would love to hear where you have these films. I assume Alien 3. Maybe down at the bottom,
right at the 4,
right at that meaty number 4 spot, that iconic third nostalgic film that we all love. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you soon.